It's November, which is my birthday month, so I thought it'd be fun to make some videos so you kind of get an idea of my taste in movies a little bit. So these are my top 10 junk food movies because I don't want to say guilty pleasure movies because I don't feel guilty about the movies I like. And I also don't want to say Taco Bell movies because that is Sean Chandler talks about term for them, and I don't want him to sue me. So I met in the middle and decided that these are my junk food movies that are not good. I know in my heart that they're bad, but I still have fun with them. I still enjoy them. Not everything needs to be high art. Sometimes you just need a movie that, well, it's still very enjoyable and it's still fun, but, the script maybe has a lot of problems. So we're going to my top 10 favorite junk food movies. Number 10, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. I know there are a lot of problems with this movie. The story is a mess. Jesse Eisenberg was miscast as Lex Luthor. The film overall as a whole just doesn't make any sense. But when you look at the title, which is Batman v Superman, it does exactly what it says on the cover. You get 2 hours, or 3 hours if you watch the extended cut, of superhero action, of Batman and Superman fighting each other. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what I paid for, and I got it. So I was satisfied. Number 9, Suicide Squad from 2016. This is another one of those movies where I know the plot has a lot of issues, and I get the criticisms. I'm not saying the criticisms aren't valid, but I still have a lot of fun with the movie. I'm one of the few people who will defend Jared Leto as the Joker. Not a fan of his character design with the tattoos and everything. That was weird, but I still thought he played crazy really well. You could tell he was having a lot of fun with it. Margot Robbie was perfect as Harley Quinn. She got the voice down right. Everything about her just felt just like the character Harley Quinn. The soundtrack was a lot of fun. And even if the plot isn't the best, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and is really stupid, has a lot of issues, it still puts a smile on my face. No pun intended. Number 8, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Everyone says that this is the worst Jurassic Park movie, and I'm not saying those criticisms aren't fair, but I'm going to try and defend it. Well, first off, it's a lot of fun seeing Chris Pratt with the dinosaurs. And I thought the part kind of near the end where the dinosaurs are in the house and they're hunting down a little girl, that was really scary. That was really good. That felt like classic Jurassic Park. The ending, I am a bit mixed on, though. I do agree the ending is kind of stupid. But on the other hand, it also made me really excited for how it's going to play out in Jurassic World Dominion. Now, for these next couple, I am going to be cheating a bit. I'm going to be clipping whole franchises together as one entry, just because the whole franchise is one big junk food movie that I still enjoy despite its problems. And the first one on that list is number 7, the Disney Descendants Trilogy. I know this is a Disney Channel franchise, and I'm not the target audience for it, but seeing all the Disney villains together in one movie is really cool. The little Easter eggs and lines of dialogue referencing the movies they're from are well done. And despite being a Disney Channel movie, it's actually pretty well acted. The main cast of the first one's really good. The villains bickering with each other is really fun. Harry Hook in the second one's a lot of fun. Hades was well cast. He had a lot of fun with it. And it's really just this big franchise for people who are Disney aficionados, people who know everything about every movie, because there's little Easter eggs, the dialogue, and everything that you go, oh, that was a clever joke that was a little bit more subtle, and only the diehard Disney fans will get it. And that's what makes these movies fun. Number 6, Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising. Now, I don't like Pacific Rim Uprising as much as Part 1, but I still have fun with it. And I mean, these are movies about people in mech suits fighting giant monsters that come out of the ocean. It's not exactly Oscar-winning material, but it's still awesome. The action is fantastic. The characters are actually written in a way that you care about them. And for the most part, it's actually pretty well acted. They put a lot more effort into this than they needed to, considering there's really not a lot to the plot. Number 5, Transformers. The entire Transformers franchise. Except Bumblebee, because people actually like that movie. Myself included. People think Bumblebee is a legitimately good movie. It's got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Or something. It's actually a really high percentage of Rotten Tomatoes, whereas the other Transformers movies, they're like 20, 30, really low. So, except for Bumblebee, because that's a legitimately good movie, all the other Transformers movies qualify as junk food movies because they're not thought of as good, because there's not a lot to them. And I agree, they're poorly written, they make no sense, they get stupider as they go on, but they also get more fun as they go on. I mean, these are movies about giant alien robots that turn into cars and fight each other. Were you expecting something highly sophisticated? Sometimes you just need to turn off your brain movie with action and explosions, and these deliver. Number 4, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. I'm one of the few defenders of this movie. I think it's gorgeous, the action is fun, it's not the best acted, and the story is kind of hard to follow at points, but it also feels like a cheesy sci-fi B-movie. Now, rumor has it that the comic book that this is based on is where George Lucas got his idea for Star Wars. I don't know if that's true, but I can definitely see the similarities to it. I still think it's a really fun movie that's very well shot, very gorgeous. Number 3, King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword, the movie that was supposed to start this next big franchise but failed. But I honestly don't see why it failed. The action's a lot of fun, the score in the movie is fantastic, and the action is really good. Now, I don't know why this movie got such poor reception or why it failed, but I really enjoyed it. There's not a lot of problems with the story that I can think of off the top of my head. The actors were well cast. I had a lot of fun. There's not a lot of problems I had with it. Number 2, Robin Hood from 2018. Just like King Arthur Legend of the Sword, this is one of those movies that was supposed to start this big franchise but failed. And just like that other movie, I don't see why. I thought the story was great, also well acted, especially Ben Mendelsohn as the villain. And I like these stories of overthrowing the evil empire, the evil leaders, and this did it really well. I honestly don't get why people hated this movie. I really don't. I don't have a lot of problems with it. But number 1 is G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Again, I don't see why people hate this movie. It has a great cast. It has a really good story. I'll even defend the tech suits. Like, this is established very early on in the movie that this is maybe not the future, but it's at least a world different than ours where there's, these nanomites that can heal things and you can mind control people with them. So when the tech suits come in, which I know a lot of people have a problem with, that feels like it's in that world because that kind of thing that exists in this world has been established. So, and I'll even kind of defend the twist ending about who Cobra Commander is. I thought that actually gave a lot more weight to the plot, and I'm sorry that I'm disappointed that they didn't expand on that in the second movie, because that would have been really cool to see Baroness finding out that Cobra was her brother that was on the G.I. Joe side that was thought dead, and then got brainwashed into becoming Cobra Commander, and I would have liked to see how she was torn between, does she stay with Duke or does she feel pressure to join Cobra once she finds out it's her? That's a lot of stuff they could have expanded on but didn't. So that's why the second movie was awful, and I will not defend the second movie. But Rise of Cobra is a great movie, and I really think it's fantastic, even if maybe it is a little clunky at some parts. But there you have it, my top 10 movies that are considered junk food movies. So let me know what movies that you like, that you know in your heart are probably not that great, but you still enjoy them anyway, and I will see you next time.